Well, I'm at A camp, and as you can tell from my previous videos, I've been focusing on doing some of these snowmobile fishing trips without a sleigh and using the box that I mounted on the back of the snowmobile, which has been great, but therefore, because we're not towing anything, we don't have our fire pots or fire pot. And a fire, there's something just great about having a fire when you're out on the lake. And technically you're not supposed to have a fire right on the ice where you're going to leave all the ashes and the mess and half burnt wood. So we usually try and have a little fire on the shore if we don't bring a fire pot. But that adds complications as well. It's never really where you want it to be. You have to be careful because you're near all the trees and etc. And there's rarely a good spot. So I'm planning on building a foldable portable fire pit, or collapsible, stackable fire pit, whatever you want to call it. I've been looking at little examples online. There's one called the Firebox. Pretty neat, but it's basically only 5 inches by 5 inches by 7.5 inches tall. That's way too small for what we want to do. There's one called the Wombat. I think that's a little too big and heavy duty for just being able to bring it from A to B. So I'm going to experiment with this. That'll basically give me 10 inch by 10 inch by whatever height I want to make it, probably about a foot. It'll be a little bit more than 10 inch because it's concave, so it might be 12 inches across from here to the other face. So it could end up being 12 by 12 by 12 in some spots. We'll see. And about 24 inches tall, so a foot of leg and a foot of fire, little grill on the top. I have these pieces laying around. So we're gonna strip these down and try and make our prototype number 1. Okay, I have these stripped down now. I really like the gauge of this. I think it's a good balance. I wouldn't want it any thinner, but I do think it's thick enough to do the job. And the fact that it's profiled is going to give it a lot of rigidity. And also, a lot of this is already built to fit, really. So I'm sure I can make use of this. And it's too bad that there's paint on it, but this is just going to be prototype 1, and the paint will burn off, but if it's really a great setup, I'll get it sandblasted. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, well, I've got it cut in half now, and of course it's a little smaller than I ideally want, but these materials are, I think, just ideal for the first prototype. So it's 2 feet tall. I think it's about 11.5 by 11.5, and I'll put the bottom, I don't know, as I was saying before, 12 to 14 inches from the top. So we'll keep going here. Okay, got the bottom connected nicely with some of the existing end caps. That's really good at the bottom. Made a couple of notches there. All slides together nice and tight. So I think I'm really happy with the bottom. Now I need to get a plate about here to catch all the ashes and unburnt stuff at the end. So I got to get it up about here somewhere. And pretty much this exact profile. We're getting there. It's all just clicked together. I just need this middle piece, and I think that'll be it. I think I'm planning on bending all of these tabs out. They're at the same height, and just pushing a perfectly profiled plate down inside there. Pop this knockout out so it's the same. But yeah, that's pretty good so far. So what I have on the top here I really like. It goes on easily, super rigid. So I did the same on the bottom. I changed my plan on the bottom because the top worked out so well. And this is really, really rigid right now. So quite happy with this. Clicks together like Lego. Got these tabs all bent out, so it's going to be 16 inches down from the top. And now I'm going to work on the last piece of the puzzle, really. Looking forward to trying this. Okay, I've got my bottom piece here. Took a little bit of cutting and notching and etc. And I bent this piece here, this lip I bent over straight to take up a little bit of space. Super good. Okay, I'm going to assemble all this together. I was thinking about drilling some holes right about here, but with this space along the side and some of the existing holes, I think it might be enough air. You can always add holes. And not bad for one day of just trying to come up with a plan and making something to test. So speaking of testing, let's light a fire in this thing. Okay, let's light this thing. I think that's going to do just fine. You can get quite a bit of wood in there. Drafting pretty well. Alright, we'll let this get rocked. Here's the view from inside the camp. All I did was walk inside. That's perfect. What more do you need? Can you ever smell the paint burning off of this? Oh well. We're firing the stove. Beautiful. That'll take the chill off when we're out on the lake. Can easily cook on that once it drops down to coals. Perfect. I was worried it was going to be a little too low, but it's perfect with that much flame coming off of it. Wouldn't want it any higher. So I've taken the fire out of it so I can be sure everything's safe. I'm going to cover that up with snow. And took it all apart, cooled it off a bit. Kind of piled it up the way I might try and transport it. So there's the whole thing piled up right there. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Pretty happy with it. I'm gonna clean it up, either sandblast it or wire wheel it. I've got a couple of cans of high temperature paint. I'll probably give it a little TLC with a coat of paint. And I'm looking forward to giving it a real field test. Okay, that's it for this one. Take care.